Hey, Sack Guy here. As you can see on the pouch here, this is a SOG Specialty Knives. This is the SOG Power Plier, and it's version 1, the original that they came out with to compete with the Leatherman personal survival tool or personal utility tool with the pliers and everything. I got this back in the mid 80s, but I'll be comparing this with that here in a moment. But start with, on this, it comes in a canvas sheath. It's got a belt loop on the back. You can wear the belt vertically, or it's also made to where you could wear it horizontally. Get that in the frame there a little bit better. So you can have your belt go either way. Got some stitching on there. I don't know how well that would hold up for really long-term use, but I found this in my dad's garage when I was cleaning it out, and just, said, hey, this is cool, I'm going to hang on to it. And there's the pliers. Now, one thing that SOG came out with, and like I said, this is the first version that they had, was they had the power wheels on here. It's got sprockets and everything, and it increases the power ratio of 1 to 2 by when you're squeezing down on it. Gives you more power, and also gripping and whatnot. Now, compared to the Leathermans, this is more of a normal pair of pliers. It's very thick, and like I said, I'll compare them here shortly. And as you can see here, it says SOG. This is the version 1 of the power pliers. Version 2 changed the tool set a little bit, and your jaws here changed a bit. They went more oval. And then on the third version, the tool set changed completely, and you had a more oval opening here, and the pliers themselves were more narrow and more to needle nose type pliers. Now on this, just like the original Leatherman, you have to have it open in order to access the tools. Over on this side, we have your main blade. It's half serrated. It does not lock. It does have a little bit firm there, but when you close it up, and this goes for any of the tools, you close it up like this, it's partially locked in that it might give way and go down, but it won't fold up onto your fingers while you're holding it. So that was a bit of a safety thing there. And then your other tools, we'll go ahead and just open them all up and show them. Start with, see if I can get these fanned out a little bit better. Okay, first you have a chisel. Got a better look there that you got the chisel, then the Phillips, then you have a small screwdriver, flat tip screwdriver, can opener here, and then you have the awl. And the awl has a fairly nice edge on it to where you can use it to do some very light cutting. And then over on the other side, the main blade here, well, not the main blade, you have a file. You have a coarse file and a fine file, then a medium screwdriver. This tool is a Robinson driver. It's a square headed screwdriver. They made some screws there in the late 80s, early 90s that instead of having a Phillips head in it, it had the square to where you could just go in and put a little bit more torque. Didn't have to worry about it stripping out as bad. Didn't quite catch on, but hey. And then there's one other small blade here. Let's see if I can get to it. There we go. Right here, which I think is really cool, it's a small knife blade for doing detail work. Quite sharp, and it's a chisel grind, and that's for whatever you need a small blade for. On the second version, they did away with the small blade and the Robinson driver. And then you have one more small blade there. It's another screw flat. Well, trying to get them out, it's a pain in the butt. Then you have a saw and a larger flat tip screwdriver there. But you have a wood saw there, and this configuration is very hard to get some of the tools open in, but you have your wood saw there, and again you would close it up and you could use that really be kind of handy for making notches and doing camp craft, cutting down small limbs or small pieces of wood, doing very small cuts. The blade is only 3 inches on the saw, as are the knife blade is. Go over the specs on this real quick. Closed, this is 4.5 inches. When you open it up with the pliers, it is 6.75 inches. If you have it open with your main cutting blade, and then we close it up, the main cutting blade right here is 3 inches. So with it fully open, it is now 7.5 inches. And it weighs in at 8.3 ounces. The Power Plier was discontinued in 2003, so they made it from the late 80s to around 2003, and it was replaced by the Power Lock pliers, or the Power Lock multi-tool. Okay. Oh yes. And on the back you have your ruler, which the top here is inches, the bottom is metric, and you have it on both sides, both handles. And that's it. Now, just to compare the size, you have your Leatherman multi-tool, the original one, and your SOG. You can see where the SOG is just a little bit longer, about a ½ inch or so longer, but your Leatherman was much narrower, so probably by about a quarter of an inch almost. So, and then you look at the two tips, how much narrower they are. Now I believe, oh, I've got one other tool, You got your wire cutters right there, just like you do on your Leatherman. Now, one of the advantages of the SOG over the Leatherman at the time is that the SOG had larger jaws, so you could get a grip on a larger bolt or nut. And I know some guys, when I was in the military, when these came out, loved the SOG, preferred that over the Leatherman. This was given to me by a friend of mine. And so I had this. I really wasn't partial to any of the different tools. My dad got that, and now I inherited it. And just wanted to compare it to the Leatherman. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, not so quick, but this review of the SOG Power Plier. And as I said, it's the first version. And if you have any questions or comments about it, please leave them below. And remember, always be prepared.